Now, whilst I am sure that you have all had very important things happening in October, I need you all to shut up for a second, because I have reached my goal for the year, so I expect nothing but praise and adulation for the entirety of this video. Since the first model of October would be my 52nd model of the year, I wanted to pick something a little special. So I went with a Terminator librarian from the first edition of Space Hulk. More specifically, I believe it came from the Deathwing expansion in 1990, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not exactly well versed in these spaced Hulks. I picked this up from Norfolk Board Games, War Games and Collectibles in Great Yarmouth, where I happened to be in September. It is quite the store for those that are into old GW models, so if you happen to be in the area then definitely check it out. This was an interesting model to paint since its edges were all incredibly rounded, so edge highlighting it was less highlighting the hard edges and more create the illusion of hard edges. It also left me with a predicament. As you can see with your eyeballs, I don't exactly paint my Marines conforming to Codex standards, hence why my chaplains and librarians are the same colour as all the other models, you know, for lore reasons that I'm sure I'll make up one day. However, these are still fundamentally tokens that you use in a game, so I do still want them to be easily discernible during play. Chaplains are easy since the Crozius and Skull Helmet make them stand out a mile, but with a model like this, it's not immediately recognisable as a librarian unless it's blue. My solution was twofold. Firstly, I made the force weapon bright blue, a colour that I don't use anywhere else in the army, and secondly, I put his chapter icon on a purple stripe, which shall henceforth mean librarian in my army. Basically, when it comes down to iconography, I'm just making it all up as I go along. But yeah, this was model 52 of 2019, which means I've hit the goal I set for myself at the start of the year. Here, you can hold that. Now, as tempting as it would be to just abruptly cut to black now and end this series as a joke, I have actually painted some more, so let's see by how much I can beat my target. The next is a Space Marine Lieutenant from 1989. It's funny how for many years you've not actually been able to play him as his original rank, but once again you can, since Lieutenants are a thing again in 8th. I picked this guy up in pretty great condition, he even still had his backpack. The only thing I had to do to him was put him on a 32mm base to match my other lieutenants. Also, fun fact, the catalogue lists this weapon as a bolt pistol, despite other Marines with pretty much identical looking guns being described as having full bolters. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but Rogue Trader can be kind of weird and inconsistent. Still, I quite enjoy painting these old beakies, and this one will probably spend his time rocking around with my Rogue Trader Sternguard squad in their distinctly not Rogue Trader Razorback. The last model of October is good old Mad Morris, not to be confused with the model I painted back in January, which was just Trooper Morris. Yeah, for some reason there were two similar yet separate models called Morris in 1987. Also, I'm fairly sure Assault Trooper Hardy is just Mad Morris again, but with a different paint job. Regardless, I feel that we are being let down by the lack of Morrises in modern 40k. I picked Morris up mostly because we made a joke about him and his lack of neck in an older video, and I just wanted to have a shot at painting him to see how it was in person. I tried a couple of things that I don't normally do on him, the obvious one being emulating the Rogue Trader propensity for writing slogans on the armour, here simply using Morris's name since it's inherently funny to me. I've not painted that much writing that small before, so it was an interesting test of patience and how small my tiniest brush was. I also decided to paint him without using any metallic paints just to see if I could. The answer was yes. His colour scheme is obviously quite similar to the Cadian one, but that was more just a case of me wanting to paint something in a scheme that I hadn't done before than a conscious choice. I just went with something that was suitably military looking at the time, and it just ended up very Cadian. So in October I only painted 3 models, but since we were pretty busy with stuff over on the main channel, and I'd hit my goal anyway, and I may have also got a little bit addicted to Elite Dangerous, I was happy to do a little less than usual this month. Also, all the models this month were from 1987 to 1990, which is completely unintentional, but I'm sure nobody is surprised. This brings my yearly total up to 54 models painted against 46 models bought. And yeah, there's only 2 months left of the year now, so it will be interesting to see what my final total is now that I've hit my initial goal. I do have a small selection of models to one side that I definitely want to finish before 2019 ends, all of which I've at least started on. I suppose that's the thing you don't really get to see in these videos, all the models I've started but never got around to actually finishing. Trust me, there's more than I would like to admit. But anyway, I will see you all in November.